Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here. So in this video tutorial, we're going to continue on with our color mixing. And in this lesson, we're actually going to mix blues with yellows to get greens. Now, we all know from primary school, all you have to do to get a green is take a blue and a yellow. And we already know from all the lessons I've been doing, yeah, but the type of green you're going to get is all going to depend on which blue you choose and which yellow you choose. So that we know for sure. So what we're going to be doing in this lesson, we're going to be working with Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Blue, and what I don't have on here is Cerulean Blue. That's part of an extended palette, which leans right about here. And then we're going to be using our three yellows. But just to give you an idea of what you can accomplish with this, with this lesson, I've got these three blues, I've got these three yellows. So think I'm going to be using a mix with this and this, then this, okay? But then if you take a look at your arsenal, like if you're already not using a limited palette, like if you're probably watching this, you have a lot more paints, you might not. I've got extra paints, and I got these years ago. I don't use them because when I had gotten these, I wasn't into color mixing. I was so anti color mixing from doing it so much in art school. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But think of the color combinations you can have, like just with what I have with Prussian blue hues, sapphire blue, aquamarine, blue gray, and then the cerulean blue in the media acrylics, and then using yellow deep, derelict yellow, Indian yellow. You know, these are all the tradition colors that I have, but then I also have oils, which I can't use anymore, but just think of all the combinations. The one thing, though, that we are going to learn, and this is a really good time to talk about this, is you think, well, I have to buy all these blues. You don't. Because these blues here, this is made, like Prussian blue hue is made with phthalo blue and black. Sapphire blue is made with phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, and white. This aquamarine is made with phthalo green, phthalo blue, and white. This blue gray is made with phthalo blue, black, and white. I mean, now these yellows though, two of them are pure. So like this yellow deep is made with PBRB, burnt sienna, and PY139, which is Indian yellow. So you wouldn't be able to get this without using Indian yellow. Indian yellow is a single pigment, and so is this derelict yellow PY83. So you don't need to really buy mixes unless you're going to be using them a lot. That's why with green, I have just the phthalo greens as my green, because I can get everything with them. Yes, I can still use the blues, and blues and yellows are great when you want to paint out in the field. But just having the greens, just those two greens, saves a lot of time. Now I also want to try and experiment in this one. So what I've got, I pre-made up the chart. So I've got phthalo blue henty yellow medium, phthalo blue henty yellow, phthalo blue henty yellow light. Then I've got ultramarine blue with the yellows, and then I've got cerulean blue with the yellows. But in this one here, I put down the swatch of just henty yellow medium with white. And what I want to try is, because I want to see what happens. What happens if we actually just layer phthalo blue on top of the yellow? Because phthalo blue is transparent, will the yellow show through? That's just the experiment I want to do. All right, so I've got my paints here. So I'm going to take a little bit of water with phthalo blue. You should be able to see what I'm doing. Look how powerful that is. Wow. I'm going to blot a bit off my brush. Look at that. Actually, let me just go right straight down here. So we got that green, right? So now let me just take a little bit of henty yellow medium. And let's bring that right down here. I need a bit more paint than that. So this is mixing with the yellow. Okay, so just phthalo blue over yellow. This is a phthalo blue and yellow over yellow. Now I'm going to take that same mixture. Let's put it on white. Everything under the underlying, not the when you add white, see underlying color, but what you're painting on top when you're working with transparents will directly affect the colors you end up with. So you can see this one's a little bit darker, But these, now this could be because I added a bit more yellow. Who knows? Let me add a little bit of white to see the true underlying green. There we go. So what you're getting when you're mixing this particular type of green is that you're taking a blue that leans towards green, and then you're taking a yellow that leans towards orange. They're not directly opposite on the color wheel, but they're close. They're close, so it's going to be a lot more neutral. Now, when we get to phthalo blue and Hansa yellow, so thinking you're going to take a blue that leans towards green, and you're taking more of a neutral yellow. So let's take that blue, and let's take just Hansa yellow. Let's put that up here. And I probably should have reversed these. Oop, water. Probably should have reversed those. And a little bit of white. That might be a bit too much white. And you can see easily how you can shift these by just adding more of one or the other color. Okay, that's a really pretty, very soft. So compare these two here. Much more intense at face value. But when you add the white, you can really see that this is a lot more of a blue, like a stronger blue. Probably because I added more phthalo blue, but this one here, I definitely added a bit more of the yellow to it. So now if we take a phthalo blue and then the Hansa yellow light. So the Hansa yellow light already leans to, that's way too much blue. Already leans toward, look how, oh, you can't see how strong that is. And then if we just take more yellow on the dirty brushes, go on the side. See how intense that is? That's because the yellow already leans. Oh, you still can't see. Hang on, let me just shove this over. Shove over. You see there? There we go. Get out of my way! Can you hear the landscapers? What? Like, look at that. Wowee! Myself, I'm liking these more subtle neutral greens. This is like grass green. Grass green that's been fertilized and taken care of every single day. I don't think I've ever seen grass that green. Then what you can do from here, and if you did individual charts, is that you do this, then you do another swatch over on this side that has more blue, then on this side that has more yellow, and you can just like go on and on and on. All right, so now we're going to take ultramarine blue. Now, ultramarine blue is a blue that leans towards violet. So as we start with the Hansa yellow medium, that's opposite on the color wheel. Then as we go down, we're going to start, so blue that leans towards violet, Hansa yellow medium's opposite in the color wheel, so it should be neutral, like a dull green. And as we go down this way, it should become greener and greener. All right, so ultramarine blue, where are we going to mix this so you can see what I'm doing? And the Hansa yellow medium. And again, it'll all be dependent on how much yellow and blue that you add. Yeah, that's... But this one here, like when you do a mix with phthalo blue, you saw how very little paint that I had to use because it's so strong. Ultramarine blue, it's a weaker, it's a synthetic. Lapis lazuli, I can never pronounce it right. Lapis lazuli, the actual stone, is what was used originally to make ultramarine blue. Now it's just synthetic. But look at that. Look, that's more like a sage green, isn't it? Okay, so now if we're going to take the ultramarine blue, and then we're going to go with Hansa yellow, we should have a bit of a brighter green. Will we? Yep. This Hansa yellow is a bit more on the neutral side. Okay, bit of white. And again, the charts will all look different because you'll be using either more blue or less blue, more yellow, less yellow, and your brands might be different. Your brand may be more transparent, who knows. But it's a little bit brighter. Actually, yeah, it's not that much of a difference, is it? Just a little bit. Now Hansa yellow light. Yellow that leans towards green with a blue that leans towards violet. More paint. So I have to do a shout out to my friend Sue. One of her struggles with color mixing is also using not enough paint when doing her mixes. And I hear you, Sue. Just chalk it up towards the cost of education. How about that? How about that? You can see here I use much more white, so let me go back to a bit more blue. A bit more of the green. See the difference? Unless we're doing an actual color matching exercise, just do the mixes the way you want. You don't need to match everything I'm doing. But look at all the ranges of greens we're getting. And these are colors that are already in our palette. Now, the interesting one is Cerulean Blue. Okay, so just to let you know, Cerulean Blue is in my extended palette. And even being in my extended palette, I only use Cerulean Blue when I'm painting seascapes. I was using it for doing portraits, but Cerulean Blue is one of those pigments, like in oils, it is so expensive. One of the tubes of oils that I bought for Cerulean Blue was $75. That's the only tube I ever bought. That I just wanted to see if it made that much of a difference. Honestly, it didn't. It didn't. I can get a mixture that is, I would say, not exact, super close, but more versatile by using phthalo blue, a little bit of phthalo green, and white. End of. We're going to cover that when we get to the blues. All right, so Cerulean Blue with Hansa yellow. Now, Cerulean Blue is a blue that leans towards green. This one is PB35. A lot of manufacturers make up their own hues. Personally, in my humble opinion, you don't need to buy it. Just make it, unless you're going to be, if you're going to be doing so many seascapes that it's just worth buying it pre-mixed, that's fine. Otherwise, just make up a batch and then just put it inside a ketchup bottle or something. You know, those condiment bottles that you can buy at the store. Especially if you're using phthalo blue, it'll go so far. So that's really pretty. Okay, Cerulean Blue with Hansa yellow. And I'm noticing I'm having to use a lot more yellow to get a half decent green. This one's a little bit brighter. So as we're going down now towards, so this is a neutral, and when we get to the Hansa yellow light, you'll see how strong it's going to be. And these greens, I would never really use them like this by itself without doing something else with it. You need to tone it down, add some shading, add some highlighting. Look at that. So a blue that leans towards green and a yellow that leans towards green, which is why it's so bright. So now you see why it's important that you do your mixes yourself so you can see, because now you can say, well, you can think of, well, I'm planning on painting, you know, a seascape next week. Why don't I play with some greens first? And you can make a whole bunch of swatches. Make notes, though. Make notes. I guarantee you'll get a mix that you really like and you won't make a note. Then you'll say, how did I do that? And if you're anything like me, memory not... Oh, I just got paint on my black jeans. Ah! Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, if the camera was on me, You see the face I'm making. But yeah, you can do all these mixes. Now, if we take a look at these now, the greens that I dislike the most are these ones here. They're too intense for me. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that it's not my style. I like the muted greens because I can take this type of green. Let's just take, I have no idea which one this one is, but you can take a green. Let's just take any dark green. And then from there you can take I need a pure, dirty brush with a pure, and then you can, I have to make another one up. Let's do it with phthalo blue and hence yellow light to get something really bright. Look at that, look at that, look at this. Oh my God. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, that's not what I want to show you, but now I don't know on the monitor. It looks green. It's actually a turquoise, teal, turquoisey. No, it's more of a teal on my end. I digress. What was I doing? Just taking this more yellow, and then you can come in, and you can do something. And I'm thinking, okay, if I need to neutralize that a bit more, I can go with a red. But you can mix it with a bunch of different things, just to get a different type of mix. Get a little bit of yellow in there. Get a modeling. Doesn't matter which yellow I'm working with. But you can get all this beautiful, like I love, seeing paint textures and this is all wet on wet. So I can come in, another green. It's great for making a background. You can do all this type of stuff. I like mixing up the green so I get different blends inside whatever it is I'm painting. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, so there you go. So I just did something very small with 3 blues. Just a reminder that Cerulean Blue, although it is in my extended palette, I rarely use it. So your assignment is going to be to take all the blues that you have, all the yellows that you have, and if it amounts to more than 5 of each, like if you have more than 5 blues or 5 yellows, just take your top 5 blues and your top 5 yellows. If you have phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, they must be in there. If you have Hansi yellow medium and Hansi yellow light, they must be in there as well. Okay, because that's part of a limited palette. So minimum, no, I would say maximum, because if you do more than 5, you're going to be there forever. So 5 blues, 5 yellows if you have, and then make your chart just to give some ideas. And then also feel free that if you find a mix that you like and you go, oh, I really like this, make another swatch. So you're going to have that color on another card, and then on the side do this mix with more blue, then take that over here with more blue, and that over here with more blue, and then this over here with more yellow, this over here with more yellow, and this over here with more yellow. Just now you can start shifting it. So these are basically just a mix with white, but what you want to do now is actually shift it, and that's going to be in the next lesson. Is we're going to be shifting different blues. We're going to be shifting different greens using blues and yellows, and I'm also going to be trying to try to create a neutral green by combining phthalo green blue and phthalo green yellow. I want to try to get this under 20 minutes. All right, got it done. All right, you guys, so until I see you in the next lesson, stay inspired. Oh, wait. Don't forget to post your homework assignment in the private Facebook group or the Mighty Networks community. Links are in the description below. Okay, now I'm done. So until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.